It's Ash from Super Videos, back for another video for Season 10 of The Walking Dead. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the Season 10 finale, Season 10 Episode 16, called A Certain Doom. And we're going to look at the possibility that we actually got a clue or hint about Connie's return in this episode, based on this poster that they released a while back. We're also going to talk about a theory that I came up with, but I wouldn't be surprised if others also talked about it in different ways. But that theory is the possibility that Carol is gonna get a remixed version of Andrea's comic book Death, but it's gonna involve Connie. And I'll explain what I mean by that. Now, we have talked about the possibility that Carol can get a remixed version of Andrea's Death from the comics, but we didn't really discuss in detail how it could go down. But I've been thinking about it, and I think there might actually be a lot of setup for them to go this route, which I'm gonna go through in a little bit. But first things first, so of course we do know that Connie disappeared after the cave explosion. We never saw her again. We did see Magna. She came back and she told the survivors that herself and Connie were able to blend in with the walkers, but at some point they were separated. But being blended with the walkers, that's how Magna was able to find her way into the hilltop, because of course the Whisperers lured the walkers towards hilltop. So Magna and Connie were most likely just following the same herd. Now, what's very interesting is that they could actually do the exact same thing with Connie. So of course we do know in the season 10 finale, Beta is going to lure all these walkers towards the tower. And I think it makes a lot of sense for that to be how they bring Connie back. For Connie to have just followed that herd and find her way towards the tower. And at some point, break away from the herd and join the survivors. Now, one thing I do want to mention is it would be super cool and super awesome to also have a story where maybe Connie is wearing a Whisper mask in order to blend in. So she's doing more than what Magna was doing. Magna was just covering herself with walker blood. But with Connie, what we could see is she could take that one step further, and she could actually use the Whisperer strategy against themselves and wear the Whisperer's mask and to blend in with them. I think that would be super awesome. So with all of that said, if we take a look at this poster right here, we can see that there is someone behind Daryl. Now, if you look closely, it seems like they're wearing a Whisper mask, so it's not a walker. Now, it could be just about any of the survivors with a Whisper mask on. It could be Kelly, it could be Carol. We do note that they do wear Whisper masks. We saw that in the trailer, but some people are saying that that could actually be Connie. I think that's a possibility and goes well with what I just talked about. But I think it's extremely difficult to say whether this is in fact Connie or not. But regardless of whether this is Connie or not, I think that it's extremely likely at this point that we're gonna see Connie with a Whisper mask at some point in this episode. That's obviously if she's actually coming back in this episode. Now, the other thing I think we're most likely going to see is Connie and Kelly reunite in the finale when Connie returns. But I think they might be planning to do something along the lines of having them reunite only to kill one of them. Now, I don't think they're going to kill Connie because it just doesn't make sense to bring her back and then kill her. So I think what we're most likely going to see is Kelly getting killed as soon as they reunite, or right before they reunite. And that'll be like a gut-wrenching scene. And I think that it could be a great moment in terms of getting fans ready for these two sisters to reunite, only to pull the rug from under them and kill one of them off. Now, I think it would be super cool and super awesome to have Beta be the one that kills Kelly in front of Connie. Maybe you can have it so that Beta realizes that the survivors and Kelly are wearing the Whisperer's mask and they're blended in with the walkers. Maybe he gets a glimpse at Connie as well and he gets super frustrated and angry and decides to stab Kelly right in the middle of the herd. And obviously you could have it be very emotional and have Connie see this and have to react to this. But she can't scream, she can't cry because she's in the middle of the herd. So any wrong move is going to get herself killed as well. So I think that would be super awesome and interesting for them to explore. It could possibly be a remixed version of Father Gabriel's comic death. It won't necessarily look the same as far as the setting is concerned, but the way it happens is kind of similar. So they could have that work that way. But this is a great segue to the Carol stuff that I want to talk about. How does this all relate to Carol? So after this gut-wrenching scene, which is Connie having to watch Kelly get killed or devoured by the walkers when she's in the middle of the herd, what we could have is a remixed version of Andrea's comic death at this point. So what I mean by that is we could have Carol showing up, sacrificing herself to save Connie. Now, I'm not saying it has to happen the same way as the comics did, because it's unlikely that there's going to be a horse around at that point and all of that, but I think it would be very interesting to have a moment like that. And there is setup for this already. Think about it. Carol blames herself for getting Connie and Magna trapped in the cave. If she's not going to do it for Kelly and Magna and others in Magna's group, or maybe anyone else, she's definitely going to want to make it up to Daryl, because of course Daryl and Carol are extremely close. So that I think would be super awesome and super interesting for them to do. So essentially, in this episode, you could have Kelly and Carol dying back to back. If they do something like that, that would be huge. I mean, that would be, I don't even know the words to describe how crazy that would be. But that's something they could definitely do in this episode to make it extremely shocking. I want to know everyone's thoughts and opinions about this theory. Do you think that Connie is going to return in the finale in the first place? And also, if you think she does, do you think she'll be reunited with Kelly? Or do you think they might be doing something where they're going to have either Beta or another Whisperer killing Kelly before Kelly and Connie can reunite? And also, do you think that there's a possibility that Carol is going to sacrifice herself to save Connie as a result of what happens with Connie and Kelly and Beta and all of that? But last thing I want to say, I'm not saying all of this is going to happen. This is just my theory, my speculation, and a sort of what if scenario. But there is obviously a chance that they could do something entirely different. But let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below. That's it for this video. See you next time for another super video.